Those days. I remember those days.
Hello, vinyl community. This is Tommy, and welcome to another musical adventure. Today's adventure is a little bit special. And I wanted to share an album with you guys. You've probably heard some other people here in the VC and the music community that have been talking about this album, and with good reason. And so I'm going to add my 2 cents, as it were. Today is June 23rd, 2023. And I want to talk about an album that came out today. On Jem Records. That's JEM. You guys probably know Jem Records. They did the 80s Bob Dylan tribute album, as well as the Pete Townsend tribute album. Just a couple of the things that have come out on that label. But this is an album that has come out by a band on their label, and it is called Rattled Humming Heart, and it is by the band The Midnight Callers. Released today on June 23rd. This is the CD. I will be getting the vinyl on this. But I know you guys have probably seen some other videos where people are talking about it. And so now it's my turn to talk about it and talk about how great I think this album is. I was sent a promo of it. There's the back cover of the CD with the track listing on it for you guys. I hope the camera zooms in well enough so you can read it. And the first single is the first track here, New York Tramp. There is a music video that was released today. I'm going to put the link down in the description box. But the reason why this album is really kind of gaining the attention that it is because it is a great power pop glam album. There's definitely some hint of great 70s radio. Here is some of the other titles on Jem Records, some of that I talked about. There's also the Brian Wilson tribute, as well as the first Midnight Callers album. And if you've heard the first Midnight Callers album, it's been out now, I think, a couple of years. This one is a lot more focused. It's a lot more sort of together to me. The first album is a lot of fun, and there's some great music on there. But this album seems to really just kind of hone in on the things that made the first album great, and really kind of, they've really sort of perfected the craft, as it were. They are a New York-based band, and it's just a great rock album. Like I said, power pop, fans of Big Star, Badfinger, those types of bands. But there's a little bit, because of the New York, this album sounds New York. You'll hear it in the single New York Tramp. There's a little bit of glam rock. There's a hint of Bowie, a small hint of Bowie in there. But there's also bands like T-Rex, maybe even a touch of Cheap Trick, and some bands like that. And so it's a cool combination, and you can tell they really mix it well. It's tight. The songs have great harmonies. Of course, the hooks are fabulous. I mean, they're huge, just great hooks that you can sing along with. But you've also got, like I said, these great sort of vocal harmonies. And then, of course, I think the key to any great, what I would call power pop, is the guitars. They're good, solid guitars. And I'm a sucker for guitar albums. And so this one really, really kind of meets the expectations. Now, if you do Sirius XM and you listen to Little Steven's Underground Garage, which run by Steven Van Zandt, the E Street Band, which is a cool station. I have XM in my vehicle, and really enjoy listening to the stuff on there. But you can get turned on to a lot of new stuff. And I'm going to tell you guys, for me, the older I get, and some of you may struggle with this, it's harder for me. I find it harder for me to really get into new music. And so people are always recommending things. People are always saying, hey, have you heard this? Have you tried this? And yeah, if you follow my channel, you probably know that I've talked about, some newer bands. But it really, to me, takes a lot to pull me in, especially new music. There's a lot of new music that I hear that I like, that I enjoy, but I don't feel compelled to own it or to have it, because usually when I hear bands like this and they suck me in, it's like I gotta have more. Can't wait to hear what they do next, and I go back. But again, this music is it's very alive. It's tight, and it's just good music. And again, it's cool when you hear new music that can grab you like that. Going back to Steven Van Zandt, Underground Garage, they've picked New York Tramp to be the coolest song in the world, which is a great honor to bestow. I mean, that's something you really want, considering the way radio is now. Bands like this, the old way of like putting out a record and a single and video and touring, you really got to get word of mouth. And I think that's why a lot of us in the VC have been sort of praising this album, because it's really good. Most of you probably have it already, and that's way cool. But if you haven't, or you're stumbling upon this video, or you're just wondering what is the deal with the Midnight Callers, what am I hearing about? Of course, the title, Rattled Humming Heart, obviously a throw to you too. But like I said, if you're into bands like the Raspberries, Big Star, I mentioned Cheap Trick, David Bowie, Badfinger, that New York thing. So a newer band to maybe think about, to compare it to, maybe be the Strokes. Fans of that, especially that first Strokes album, will probably get into this. It's a cool record, and it's a lot of fun. And you can check it out. You can order it. Like I said, I'm going to put the link to the new video to New York Tramp. And look, if that doesn't speak to you, let the music do the talking. Like I said, check the link out down there and check these guys out. Listen to them on Spotify or Pandora, or however you stream music, and check things out if you want to preview some stuff. But I think if you're into those bands that I mentioned earlier, I think you're going to find that you'll be into these guys too, because they're really, really good. Jim Records, and the Midnight Callers. I'm saying Midnight Ramblers. The Midnight Callers, Rattled Humming Heart. Great new album. Check it out. Hey, if you're here for the first time, you've not seen anything else that I've done, subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. Comment down below. Have you heard this album? What do you think? Isn't it great? Give the video a thumbs up. Give it a like. Share it. Talk to your friends about it. Anybody that's into that kind of music. They love just good rock music and want to enjoy it and have fun. This is the kind of stuff you put in your car, you crank it up, and you roll the windows down. Great summer record. Great anytime record. The Midnight Callers, Rattled Humming Heart. Check it out. That's all I've got for you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.